Park Kang gets caught in a scandal with a beautiful actress Hyun. Their news spreads all over the internet instantly. Meanwhile, his manager Joe, who is a former aspiring actor who gave up his dreams to handle Park Kang's messy life. He prevents bad news from spreading. Joe endures constant verbal abuse just to keep the star's career on track. Meet Park Kang, the biggest superstar in Korea. He is handsome, rich, and extremely successful. However, fame has made him cold and arrogant. He lives alone in a massive, high-tech luxury apartment and spends his money freely, even sending his mother on expensive world tours just to keep her busy. Before starting his next project, he visits a doctor because he feels anxious and can't sleep. Park Kang is struggling. He suffers from severe anxiety and insomnia, unable to sleep without medication. On set, he plays the role of a king, but he keeps forgetting his lines and gets angry easily. He even asks the director to cut his lines. As he becomes more successful, he becomes arrogant, and the staff are afraid to say no to him. Because the movie is a hit, everyone fears and respects him even more. On Christmas, Park Kang wins the Best Actor award at a prestigious ceremony. On stage, he puts on a fake smile and gives a heartbreaking speech about his humble beginnings 10 years ago, claiming he will never forget his roots. Little does he know, his ex-girlfriend Soohyun is watching him from a TV in a tiny street food stall, looking at the man she once loved. After the ceremony, Park Kang wants to go out and drink, but Joe refuses, saying he promised to spend Christmas with his wife and kids. Arrogant as always, Park Kang threatens to fire him and the driver. Forced into a bar, Joe reveals some shocking news. Soohyun, the girl Park Kang left behind to pursue fame, has returned to Korea for an art exhibition. Park Kang acts like he doesn't care, but deep down he is shaken. After getting drunk, Park Kang catches a taxi home alone. The driver is a mysterious older man who starts a deep conversation. He asks Park Kang, "Are you truly happy?" and follows up with a life-altering question. If you could go back to the past and change one choice, what would it be? He specifically mentions Soohyun, asking if Park Kang ever wondered what life would be like if they hadn't broken up. Park Kang laughs it off, thinking the driver is just crazy. But as he falls asleep in the back seat, the world begins to shift. The next morning, Park Kang is woken up by two kids, jumping on him and calling him Daddy. He thinks it's a prank or a hidden camera show until Soohyun walks into the room, nagging him about being lazy. He looks around and realizes he isn't in his luxury penthouse, he's in a tiny, cluttered house smelling of breakfast and laundry. In this world, he isn't a superstar. He's a struggling, out-of-work actor who chooses his family over fame. Panicked, he runs outside in his pajamas. He tries to call Joe, but his phone is a cheap, cracked model. He finds his car, but it's a rusted old van that barely starts. He even drives to his old luxury apartment, but the security guards treat him like a stalker. He even bumps into his co-star Hyun, but she looks at him with disgust, having no idea who he is. Park Kang ends up at the police station for trespassing. Soohyun has to come pick him up, apologizing to the officers by claiming her husband is mentally stressed. When they get outside, Park Kang is still screaming that he's a movie star. Soohyun finally loses her temper and slaps him hard. Ding of the slap brings him back to earth. He looks at his daughter who is looking at him with worried eyes. To survive, Park Kang pretends he has temporary amnesia from drinking and asks his kids to help him relearn his life. In this life, Park Kang is a struggling actor. He spends his days taking care of the twins and looking for the mysterious taxi driver. He even visits his doctor, but the doctor doesn't recognize him either. He discovers he's a nobody actor who does reenactment shows on TV, often playing ghosts or background extras, even though he remembers being a king. At first, Park Kang hates it. He misses his silk sheets and expensive wine. But slowly, the warmth of the family starts to melt his heart. One day, Soohyun tells him he got a small role in a video. It's not a lead role, but she believes in him. On set, his acting is so good that everyone is impressed. He realizes that in this world, Joe is the superstar. The switch happened because 10 years ago, Park Kang chose to stay with Soohyun instead of going to an audition that made Joe famous. He starts taking his job as a father seriously. He walks the kids to school, cooks dinner, and begins to see how hard Soohyun works. When his son gets hurt and goes to the hospital, Park Kang finds out that Soo-hyun is working a hard job at a grocery store to support the family. It breaks his heart. He realizes that while he was a king in his other life, he was a lonely one. Here, he is poor, but he is loved. Desperate to help Soo-hyun, Park Kang swallows his pride and asks the superstar Joe for a job. Joe, who is actually a nice guy in this world, hires Park Kang as his manager. While on a movie set, a background actor fails to show up for a horse riding scene. The director is furious until Park Kang offers to do it. When the cameras roll, Park Kang doesn't just act. He becomes the character. His horse riding skills and emotional intensity stun the entire crew. For the first time in his life, he isn't acting for fame or money. He's acting because he loves it. Even though he's just an extra, the director and Joe realize he has the soul of a true artist. Park Kang tries to use his manager's salary to move the family to a better apartment, but Soo-hyun refuses. She tells him, "This house might be small, but every corner has a memory of our children growing up. Money can't buy that." Park Kang finally understands that success isn't about the size of your house. It's about who is inside it. As Christmas Eve approaches again, Park Kang meets the mysterious taxi driver one last time. He discovers the driver is actually his late father, who died when Park Kang was young. His father wanted to show him that the path he didn't take, the path of love, was actually the most beautiful one. But there's a catch. The switch was only for 1 year. It's time to go back. Park Kang spends his last night crying while holding his sleeping children. He realizes he has to lose the family he just learned to love. When he wakes up the next morning, he is back in his cold, empty luxury penthouse. He is a superstar again, but he feels completely empty. He doesn't waste a second. He cancels his schedules and rushes to the art gallery to find Soo-hyun. In this world, she is a successful artist, but she is single and lonely. He finds a painting she made. It's a picture of the tiny house from his dream world. She remembers it too, as a dream of a life they could have had. Park Kang confesses his love and tells her he won't let her go this time. The movie ends years later, showing Park Kang as a successful actor who balances his career with his family. He has the same twins, and he is finally truly happy. He didn't just switch his life, he switched his heart.